Hi guys, welcome back to my channel where we talk about smart money moves and creating a life free from financial stress. Today, I'll be talking about a big one. How to stop living from paycheck to paycheck. How to stop living from one salary to another salary. If you've ever found yourself running out of money before the month ends, then this video is for you. In this video, I'm going to be breaking it down into 3 actionable steps or 3 sections. The first section, we're going to talk about understanding your baseline. The second section, we're going to talk about building a strong financial foundation. The last section, I'm going to talk about taking steps to start building wealth. And to make it even easier for you, I have created a free workbook that you can use alongside this video. The workbook has prompts and spaces for you to fill in your information and other answers as you're going through this video. So make sure to download the workbook. It's very detailed and it's free to download. Link in the description box below. So before we jump into this video, if you're looking to start 2025 on a strong financial note, then you definitely want to sign up for my Money Makeover challenge. This is a 30-day challenge where we're going to improve our financial habits, improve our savings habits, reduce money stress, and start building wealth. So every day, I'm going to send a simple prompt, a simple thing for you to do with your money every day for 30 days. All you have to do is sign up, okay? We're going to kick off in January. So make sure to sign up. Link in the description box below. So the first section of this video is determining your baseline. Before you stop living paycheck to paycheck, you first have to determine where you're at with your finances. One of the major challenges is that a lot of people don't even know where their money is going, how much money is flowing through them, and how they are actually spending this money. Now, the very first thing you want to do is figure out how much you spend monthly. This is the part no one likes to do, but you have to do it if you want to get things right. You have to look at least 3 months bank statement, the account where you make a lot of expenses from. You want to review 3 months bank statement from this account. I'm a pen to paper girl. I like physical things than digital copies. So you might want to print this out and then start cycling, different expenses, putting notes and trying to just look at where's your money going. What are your expenses like? If I ask you how much do you spend on your hair every month, do you know? How much you spend on clothing? How much you spend on dinner with friends, going out, eating out? Do you know the exact amount on average? The second thing you want to do is to categorize your spending. So once you look at all your expenses, you then want to categorize it. On average, how much you spend on feeding, how much you spend on train, how much you spend on Uber. So you want to create different categories for each of your spending. After that, you want to look at your total expenses every month. Are you living below or above your means? What this means is when you look at all your expenses every month, in total, is it more than the money you receive as salary or as payment every month? If your expenses is more than your income, it means you're living above your means, and that's something that we need to fix. So you want to access where you're at, and then if you're living above your means, it means you need to figure out what are your spending triggers and what bad money habits do you have that you need to fix. Essentially, you need to ask yourself, why do you spend so much money? Why do you overspend? What causes you to overspend? Is it that when you're scrolling through social media, you see one TikTok ad, before you know you're in TikTok shop, you're buying something? Or is it that you follow a lot of influencers that are always recommending something and you always feel the need to buy? You need to sit down with yourself. Like before the new year starts, you need to have an honest, open conversation with yourself to understand what your spending triggers are and why you tend to overspend so that you can regain control of your finances. Now, after this, you then want to figure out what expenses can you cut back on. Are there subscriptions that still leave your account that you honestly don't use as much? What expenses can you cut back on? If not cut back on, what expenses can you reduce? Like, where is your money going and how can you reduce some of these outflows from your account? Hand in hand with this is then identifying if this spending is actually in line with your values, which is something we call value-based spending. Value-based spending is when you spend money on the things that give you joy and the things that add value to your life. So for example, I will not spend money on a designer bag. I will not spend money on a designer clothes, but I'm going to spend money for my comfort, okay? Best believe I'm going to pay for cleaners to come to the house and clean the house. Best believe I'm going to pay for business class if I can afford it because I want to be comfortable. So one thing that I value a lot is comfort. I don't like stress. I don't like inconvenience. So rather than spend money on these things that actually do not align with my values, I put a huge chunk of my money into ensuring that I'm comfortable. You need to determine what your values are and the things you want to put money towards so that when you're spending this money, you're not feeling bad because you know you are spending money on things that align with your values and things that give you joy rather than just spending money because every other person is spending money on this thing. The last point under this section is if you have debt, you want to have a debt payoff plan. If you have debt, how are you tackling it? Now, the truth is debt happens. With the rising cost of living, more and more people have gotten into debt to keep up with daily expenses. So do you have a debt payoff plan? even if it's as little as, let's say, £10 a month you're putting towards your debt, that's better than doing nothing at all. So it depends. Do you want to focus on paying off the high interest debts first, or do you want to pay off the smaller amounts first? Some people choose to pay the smaller amounts they owe, because once you pay it, it then gives you momentum, like to clear off the next one. Or do you want to focus on those that are piling more money on interest? Clear off the one with higher interest payments first. You have to determine like what approach you want to take with regards clearing debts. So once again, don't forget to download the free interactive workbook to use alongside this video, or for you to refer to after watching this video. It's going to guide you step by step on all of these points and help you get to a better place with your money. Now that you have accessed your financial baseline, the next step is to start building a strong financial foundation. This section is all about saving, budgeting, and building better money habits. Based on your findings from your finances, after seeing how much you spend every month and how much you spend, you need to determine how much can you comfortably afford to save monthly after paying all your essential expenses. Essential expenses are expenses you need in order to survive. Buying takeout every other night might not be an essential expense because you can decide to cook at home. So set out that amount and stick to saving that amount consistently every month. After that, you want to create a budget. So a budget basically tells your money where to go instead of you wondering where your money went. Now, the way that I like to budget is I don't try to budget every single thing I'm allocating it in my budget. That's not how I do it. What I like to do is kind of what I call zero-based budgeting. So basically what it is once I get paid, I first move money to myself. And the reason why I'm able to move money to myself is because I know my baseline. I know how much I spend on every other thing. So for example, the way you can reverse engineer it is once you get paid, pay all your essential expenses, like move money to all your essential expenses, like your bills, your rent, your feeding. Allocate money to every other thing. Allocate the amount you've decided to save. Put that money into savings. Whatever is left after you've allocated money to everything is the money you leave off of. That's how I do it. Let me say it again. Once you allocate money to everything, including the savings that you've determined that you're going to do every month, whatever is left in your account after you've done all this allocation, that's the money you spend without guilt. That's how I do it. I don't spend money with guilt, because once I'm spending money, I know that yes, I've done everything I need to do with my finances. I've saved, I've invested, I've paid all my bills. So whatever money that is left in my account is for me to feel good about it. After you do this for the first month, and the second month, once you get paid, you first remove that savings amount and then you pay all your essential expenses, and then whatever is left you spend out of that guilt-free. That's one way that I like to budget rather than trying to allocate money to every single thing. I find this to be a bit more easier and gives me more flexibility with my money. So remember what I said, once you get paid, pay yourself first. Essentially move the money you've determined is for saving or is for investing. Move that money first before you then spend out of your salary. That's a way of prioritizing yourself. Now after that, this savings that you have or you want to be keeping aside every month, you want to put it in a separate pot. One of the major challenges a lot of people have is that they mix up all their savings in one pot. Somebody could have a pot of like, let's say £5,000, and person will be like, £1,000 in this pot is for traveling, £2,000 is for visa. The problem is when you jumble up all your savings in one place, it becomes very easy for you to spend out of it because it doesn't seem like it has a set purpose. So one of the ways to keep yourself on track with savings is to have different savings pots or different accounts if you want to do it that way. So savings pot where you have a travel pot, you have a fund pot, you have a feeding pot, where you just have money split into different pots to just help you stay organized. And apart from using savings pots, you want to put this savings in a high yield savings account. There are several on Monzo, there are several online if you Google high yield savings account, or you want to put it in a cash ISA. Cash ISA is an individual savings account where you don't have to pay tax on the money in it. Point is, you want to put this money in an account that is going to be earning you money passively, even if it's a little, like let's say £2 here, £3 here, £4, £10, £43, you know, whatever, depending on the amounts that you have in the account. So you want to ensure that you've optimized your savings to earn money for you. Speaking of cash ISAs, there's a cash ISA that offers 5.18% for new accounts. Link in the description box below if you want to open that cash ISA. And also, I already have a detailed masterclass on how to earn money from your savings depending on your income bracket. So if you earn 50,000 or less, your saving strategy should be different from someone who earns £50,000 or more. The masterclass covers it in details, including like practical examples to show you just how much you can earn every month by putting your money in the right account. Link in the description box below to get the masterclass. The next thing with building a solid financial foundation is learning to say no. It's learning to say, I have a budget, or I've budgeted this money and I'm gonna stick within my budget. This means when a friend invites you to an outing that's gonna be really expensive and you can't comfortably afford it, you politely say, no, I cannot afford it, and you don't feel ashamed to assert your financial boundaries. There's no shame in not being able to afford things. Like, you should be able to freely say no to certain invites, invitations, or outings that do not align with your budget. And saying no is not just to other people, it's also saying no to yourself, saying no to your triggers, saying no to the things that push you to spend money. Now, the next step in building a solid financial foundation is building an emergency fund. I know you've heard emergency fund 1,000 times. This is not the first time you're hearing about it, but this will be the last time because you're going to take action after this video. So emergency fund is your cushion. I call it looking out for me fund. You have to look out for yourself, okay? Nobody's going to look out for you. Life happens. Nobody can predict what's going to happen tomorrow, right? Emergency fund is the money you're going to live off of. If today they decide to lay you off from work, what are you going to do? Are you going to start panicking? Are you going to be able to keep surviving for months until you get another job? So that's why emergency fund is very important. The simplest baseline you can start with is £1,000. So try to save at least £1,000 in your emergency savings. So every month after you get paid, you can decide I'm going to be saving £50 every month towards building your emergency fund. And once you get to £1,000, you then decide, oh, you're going to try and save up to 3 to 6 months of your living expenses, because remember, you've done this activity, so you know what your living expenses looks like, you know what the essential expenses look like. You then decide to save 3 to 6 months of that in your emergency fund. Last but not the least is to consider additional streams of income. In my opinion, I think there are 2 ways to build wealth. One is either you have businesses or other sources of income, or 2, you optimize your income to earn more money for you. This is through investing, this is through passive income ideas, this is through side hustles. So you might want to look into starting other side hustles that can bring in extra money for you so you have more disposable income. I already have a video on top 10 side hustles you can start in the UK in 2025. Make sure to check out that video. It goes into detail on even like how much you can earn from each of these side hustles. While I detail over 10 side hustles you can start in the video, one of the easiest ones to start in 2025 is print on demand, as it requires very little upfront costs. Have you ever scrolled through TikTok and see those viral products that everyone buys? What if I told you you could sell your own products just like that without even having to worry about inventory or having to handle shipping? That is exactly what Printify makes possible with their seamless integration with TikTok Store and Amazon. So Printify is a print-on-demand platform that allows you to design and sell custom products. So when someone places an order, Printify handles the printing, the packaging, and the shipping of this item to the person. So all you have to worry about is designing the product and promoting it. And it's not just me that is saying Printify works. For example, Gary, a 71-year-old retiree, has made over £100,000 on Printify selling custom shirts. Yes, you heard me, selling shirts that he prints things on. And if he can do it, then definitely you and I can do it too. It's a very low risk, high reward opportunity. So here's how to get started on Printify. Simply visit the website www.printify.com, create your account, choose a product like ornaments or sweatshirt, then you design your product or upload your already existing design on Printify, and then you hit publish and connect it to other stores like TikTok Shop or Amazon so you can reach more people and also sell viral products on TikTok. This is your chance to start a side hustle in 2025. So click the link in my description box to sign up on Printify. Start making sales today. So once you've laid all the groundwork, you've understood your baseline, you've built a solid foundation, now we're going into the last and final section of this video, which is building wealth, where you move from not just surviving to thriving. Now, the very first thing here is to automate your finances. You want to bypass your human tendencies to forget things or not prioritize certain things. This is where automations come in, where you set up direct debits for your payment so you don't forget about it, where you set up direct debits for your savings. So like once you get paid, before you even look into your account, your savings amount has been removed from that. That's something that I have set up. I have set up automations like that. I use an app called Plum for it. So once I get paid, there's a payday feature they have on the app. Before I even look into the account, my savings has already left the account. I've already paid myself for. So you want to set up automations as much as possible. If you're gonna do it 1, 2, 3 times, it's best for you to automate it so that you set it and forget about it. Now, the second step to building wealth is to start investing, okay? Investing comes with its risk, definitely, but then there are different risk appetite. There's low risk, moderate risk, and high risk. So you can tailor your investment portfolio to the risk appetite that you have. And also, I'm gonna do a detailed video on how to start investing with as little as 100 or even £1. So make sure to subscribe. So once I post that video, you get notified. There are several platforms out there that allow you to start investing with as little as £1. So the truth is, there's only so much you can earn from savings or from like high yield savings accounts. Investing is where the tea is. Investing is where compound compounding interest is going to work in your favor. That's one of the fastest ways that you can build wealth on a salary. Now, the third step in building wealth is to regularly review your finances, okay? Your finances is not something you do once and forget about it. No, you have to constantly review, see how you're performing, and see if there are changes you need to make with your finances. Are you sticking within budget? Are you still prioritizing your savings? Or are you slowly falling back to some bad habits? So you constantly have to review your finances. I typically do this every month, where I track my income and expenses, I track my savings rate, my spending rate, I track my net worth, I track how much I get on interest every month. So like, I'm very detailed with my money, and I do this every single month. I use a sheet which I created, which I have called my simple income and expenses tracker sheet. If you want to get that, link in the description box below, and hopefully one of these days I'll do a video where I do like a live demo of how I track my income and expenses using this sheet. If you can't commit to doing this every month, perhaps commit to doing this once a quarter. So Q1, you have one money date. I call it money date. You book it in your calendar and you make it fun. Maybe you go to a restaurant with your laptop or a cafe and you make it fun, you know, because money tends to be very difficult for some of us. Sometimes I light a candle, I put jazz music in the background while I'm reviewing my finances, just so I'm very relaxed, and it's like a relaxing thing to do, if that makes sense. And then the last but not the least thing to build wealth is to educate yourself. Knowledge is truly power. Just like you're watching this video, that's a great step. You want to constantly invest in your financial education. You want to take up courses, you want to sign up for webinars, you want to download resources, different things. Like, I'm always constantly providing free resources to help you get a better grip on your finances. Once again, link in the description box for a lot of resources that you can try out today. So constantly invest in your financial education. That's one way to build wealth. So there you have it. Breaking the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck is about small, consistent steps. Remember, it's about progress and not perfection. So if you found this video helpful, make sure to please give this video a thumbs up, like this video, okay, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. And let me know in the comments, which steps are you going to start taking today? What changes are you going to start making today to break free from the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck? We've come to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Till next time. Bye bye.